Okay, so this week, Dr. Paul talked about something that is actually one of my favorite topics because I utilize this a lot in my classroom, and that is vocabulary. He stated that we cannot think in a subject unless we know the vocabulary, and this could not be more accurate. I work with fifth and sixth graders, and many of them struggle with vocabulary. Now, he also talked about taking things for granted and making assumptions. And one of them that resonates with me was an incident where I was talking with two of my students and we were doing a category assignment about breaking down the four seasons. And I was talking about the things that happen in the seasons, and I took for granted that as sixth graders, some of these students would know the four seasons. And in fact, one of them did not and had the total conversation was a complete failure because the student had no concept of the idea of what a season was: winter, spring, summer, fall. This vocabulary wasn't a part of them, therefore their whole world was a lot smaller because they didn't know the things that make up the seasons. They didn't know the changing of things that happen in fall. So, for example, I asked, well, in the in the fall, the leaves fall from the tree, and I said, so what happens in winter? Give me an example. And someone said, well, the birds fall. So I thought, what? Well, they didn't know the vocabulary. And I have students who don't know the difference between a holiday or a season or a month. They get them all intertwined and a little confused. So vocabulary was my biggest aha moment with Dr. Paul because if you don't know the vocabulary, you are blocked. Anything else that is said in a conversation cannot move forward. There is no clarity. There is no understanding. And learning is lost at that point. So knowing the vocabulary is important. I know in this class, when I am reading and researching, and I come across a lot of vocabulary words that I haven't used before, I utilize them as often as I can because I want to know them. So I think vocabulary is probably one of the most important pieces in a conversation because without it, communication is lost. So that was my biggest aha moment for this week.